Good evening, morning, afternoon or night, lovely YouTube viewers.
Wherever you are. Hello! Today's video we're going to be talking about marathon training and specifically
Our marathon training.
our marathon training.
We both have marathons coming up, but I'm sure you already know that. Unless it's your first time viewing us. In that case, go back and watch the rest.
Make sure you subscribe. So we are basically we've got a list of questions and we're just going to answer them all about our marathons that are upcoming. So first question, what marathon are you training for?
So I am training for Amsterdam Marathon. Due to COVID, this is my third attempt at Amsterdam.
I tried this one.
It was also my first marathon back in 2012, so I know the course.
And date of it?
I was about to say April, but definitely not. October the 16th, 2022.
And there's quite a few hub members going across.
Yeah, I think there's probably about a group of 10 of us now racing, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think there'll be a good dozen. There's a few other people that come in to support.
Have you decided if you're 8K or half marathon yet?
I think 8K.
Okay, that's in the afternoon. I'll already be celebrating by then.
No, I thought it was in the morning.
Oh no, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the half marathon's in the afternoon. That's why I'm not doing that.
Okay.
So there's an 8K and a half marathon on.
And PB.
Yeah, because 8K is not a distance I've done before. So, question now over to me. Marathon that I am doing this year is the London Marathon, which is on Sunday, the 2nd of October, 2022. And there's not really much else to say about London, is it? London is London. We've got another good couple of people doing London as well from the Running Hub, which will be really cool. As always, it's an amazing day out, so even if you're not a runner, I would encourage you just to go and watch because it's just a fabulous day out.
Yeah, it's a great day out. It's very inspirational, hence I suppose why the ballot fills up so quickly.
Yes, yeah. And my mum always comes to watch. 1 year she didn't because my mum and dad were on holiday. But for her,
Priorities all right.
even for her as like not really interested in sport, she would always come to watch London because it's just the day. It's just really like you said, inspirational. So.
And then besides you, it's Mo Farah versus Kanisa Bekele this year.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I could try for the front, but maybe not this year.
I think that might put your pacing strategy a little bit out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. So next question, what does training look like? Because I'm 8.5 weeks out and you are 10.5 weeks out. So what is training looking like for the both of us?
So our usual running hub model is we work off a lot of an aerobic base and we combine that with speed work and sort of threshold to sub-threshold work and get the little mixtures together, mix it in our bowl, and the perfect recipe and formula comes together.
Yeah.
However, I'm going slightly different this year after I'm coming off the back of a track season, so rather than work on an aerobic base to start, I'm coming from a speed season. So I'm now kind of working inside out and I'm now working towards the aerobic and sort of threshold and endurance threshold with the speed.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I mean, I could probably get you to answer this because James is my coach.
You're in the mixing bowl, aren't you?
I'm in the mixing bowl. I, earlier this year, trained for another marathon. Did that. Didn't have too much recovery, really, before then jumping back into...
What do you mean didn't have too much recovery? We went straight on holiday.
Not in that respect, but in sense of, like, downtime. Like, obviously, sorry, I said that wrong. I did recover properly. However, the blocks have been quite close together because I had to extend the first block. But yeah, I'm not really doing too much different. I think one thing that I'm not racing too much this time round, but I think that's just where we're training through the summer for an autumn event. Normally in the winter, springtime, there's a lot more races.
You know your calendar more so. It's not there's more races, you know through the winter to the spring, like, I'm going to do this race here, I'm going to do that race there, because there's kind of set fixtures.
Yeah, I guess we do the same stuff, don't we? Yeah, and as well, I could really find races if I wanted to, but I don't think in the summer there's as much availability because of the heat and the summer holidays.
And to be honest, you don't want to race.
No.
So that's why they're not in there. We're capitalising on the training for you.
Yeah, so working, that's how we are training.
You know, there are certain people that like to race and test themselves and work on that sort of confidence, and that's not where we're at with you at the moment. getting the boxes ticked in the training sessions.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, I think for me, it's like a confidence thing at the minute. I don't feel like I've got a lot of confidence in myself.
Sometimes a race is what's needed for that, though.
Running. Yeah, I've got a couple coming up. So there we go. So, kind of coming back to the start, what is your target for the race? So, target for Amsterdam?
So, over the last few years, I've set time goals, and I've gone through blocks, and I've not gone through blocks, and I've sulked, and I've got injured. So I'm kind of going with a different approach this time, and I'm going to very much work my race and my training off of effort-based feel. There's obviously a time kind of floating around in my head, but I think actually if I execute the race correctly and work on feel and effort, then the time will be a byproduct of that anyway. So I have a plan. Stan's agreed it. Okay. There's that one called Stan, by the way.
Yeah. I was at first, who's Stan? Target for my race. I haven't really put anything.
I have a target for you.
Yeah, coach has a target for me.
You need to essentially stop being a pussy and have a good race, don't you? For want of better words.
Well, originally I wasn't doing a marathon this autumn. If you've not heard it enough already from our different multiple platforms, as I talk about it a lot, we're getting married in September, and we're getting married 13 days before London. So originally I wasn't going to do London this autumn, because I did have a place for last year, but at the time I couldn't defer my Good for Age spot. So I'm on a charity place because I'm helping out Children with Cancer UK and their runners in the lead up to the event. So I've got a spot with them, which is really cool, and I'm really grateful. And if anything, I just want to, like James, just want to kind of, yeah, I want to work to effort, but I want to enjoy it, because London is such an important, like, it's such a big event, and it's such a privilege to be able to run it. So I just personally want to go out there, have a good time, and just, I think I'll decide closer to maybe like race week how I'm feeling and what I kind of want to do. So
I'll decide for you. I think the problem is when you go into a race too relaxed, or I'm just going to enjoy it today rather than race, actually it becomes harder. Because you go in too relaxed, you're not prepared. I think you probably had that in Milton Keynes a little bit. You kind of thought it'd be a walk in the park and just to chill out, and it's a marathon.
I definitely didn't think it'd be walking a park.
No, but you know what I mean. You kind of go in with that.
No, I tried to relax and take the pressure off, but
No, not just you. I mean, general youth. If people go in, I'm just going to run it down, blah blah blah. You need to go in with that nerve. You need to go in with that.
There needs to be some form of like desire or like deep pitted kind of like want for
and a
it.
bit of fear. Fear is what
I always
saves
fear
you.
a marathon. Don't you worry about that. So yeah, targets. I guess this time around we're not putting any like time specific goals on them. We're working more based on training, how we're going, and how we're feeling.
I would quite like to feel I've completed the marathon by running it properly, and feel like recovery won't be months afterwards. I feel completely broken. And I think regardless of how you run, when you cross the finish line, your heart of hearts will tell you if you've run well or not.
Yeah.
There's an instant gut feeling.
Yeah. Next question. Are you doing any races in the lead up?
Yes. So as I just said, I have come off the back of a track season. I still have one more track race left, which is only an 800. I'll say only 800. 800 is hard if you've ever raced one. I have a 5k on the road at Battersea. Battersea is probably my favourite place to race at the moment. It'll be my third or fourth race here in the last year. Nice sort of flat playground, mecca of running in London, easy to get to, and I'm watching Spurs a few hours later, so it's going to be good. Yeah. There's a few of us going up. There's a 5k and a 10k on that day. Good event, and as I say, I'm basing my marathon training off being hopefully relatively pretty fast. So I just ran a 5k on the track, which was a track PB, so I'm not sure I'm 5k PB road ready, but I think I can do well. I think that's going to give me the confidence, and like we spoke about racing earlier, if I can thrash myself out over 5k, it'll feel good, and then I will be doing the big half, which is always fun. I'm sure we'll do a few videos about the big half.
Yes.
When it comes to it.
Absolutely. And I've actually only got one race. Great North Run.
Yeah.
Just
the Great North Run.
Just the Great North Run. Yeah, the day that James is going to Battersea, I am
Doing anything to get out racing.
I'm on a spa day with my family, so it's kind of like a pre-wedding celebration. So couldn't say no to going out to the spa with all the girls and family. So no, I'm not doing Battersea, but I am doing the Great North Run because I got a place in the ballot. And from what I hear, it is the best half marathon. Well, sorry to any other half marathons out there, but one of the best half marathons in the UK to do.
Biggest in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. One of the biggest. And so I'm sure coach will tell me in time to come what my target is for that race. But yeah, so normally I would be doing like a 20-mile run, but I think that is 3 weeks before London. So I won't be doing any sort of like official 20-mile road races.
No, but you're strong enough that you can probably do a long run 2 weeks out from the marathon. And I'm kind of in the school of thought that 20-mile races aren't that necessary. I think it's a confidence thing, especially for people in their first sort of couple of marathon blocks to do a 20-miler, but they're good for dress rehearsals, and you should know what kit and nutrition and stuff you're doing now. And I think I can get a better training session than I can get a 20-mile race out of you, basically.
Yes, I personally just prefer to do them because it just allows you to do a longer run in a racing environment, and I find that a lot easier than just a training environment. So that's the only reason why I tend to try and find 20-mile races. Next question. What do your Sunday long runs look like in the lead up?
So the last few weeks, not a lot.
No, don't be silly.
I will be basing mine now on basically time between 2 and 2.5 hours. That's kind of where I'll be floating around, and I will be mixing in some session work with that as well, which essentially will mean I won't be doing a double session throughout the week, Tuesday and Thursday, so you get that sort of longer time to work on your aerobic engine throughout the week. And then of course working on tired legs in the long run.
Yeah. I think I've only got about 5 or 6 weeks really until we hit the taper. So for me, the long runs particularly in August, from what I understand, are going to be like long run sessions and just longer runs, but it's going to be really realistically anything now between 16 and 20 miles. So it's going to be for me working on that top end endurance, because that's something that I just haven't been able to get to with various things going on in our diaries really. So I've done a couple of 14s. What did I do at the weekend? 16?
16. I
16.
think what's quite important though is we bang on quite a lot about 12 and 16 week training plans, which are very true. But if you're coming off a fit base and off running well, specific 8 weeks is what's important really.
Yes.
That's where you're working from.
Yeah.
But you've done the 12, 18, 24 months in the background to get to that point.
Oh yeah. And that's why like we find coaching so valuable, is because it's not just that 16 weeks, it's stuff that you've done months prior, which is going to help you towards your races. What's your favourite part of marathon training?
That's a good question.
Putting you on the spot. Shall I go?
I don't think there's anything specific I like about marathon training than to just training in particular. I think the emphasis trains a little bit. So whereas a few weeks ago I'd be flogging myself around the track, now it's a little bit more sort of at that sub-threshold level where you're a bit more in control, which can feel quite nice. It's a bit longer, but you're always when you're doing marathon training, you're generally in control, aren't you?
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Nice. And the long ones at the moment are just like long sunbathing sessions. So it's quite fun. I don't mind running in the heat.
Favourite part of marathon training? I can't say I enjoy the long ones as much as what James does. For me, it's the process that I get a lot from. Like, for me, sometimes it's a lot harder to get out the front door than it is for James. For example, James ran at 5:30 this morning. My run didn't start till 8 a.m. this morning. So
needs boxing ticking.
Yeah, and that was just because of your diary today. But for me, what I enjoy most is just it's the process and the I get a lot from when I have to really challenge myself and push those boundaries, and it's the week on week building to that the final outcome. And to be fair, I do love the taper. I enjoy the taper. When other people don't enjoy it, I really thrive with less training. There we go. What's a weakness you're working on in this block?
So for me, I've done some of my strength work in the background, so I won't be doing a massive amount of gym work down the next 6 to 8 weeks. So hopefully my body's a bit more resilient, and I'm also, because I'm coming off the speed block, I'm trying to do slightly less mileage than I have done for previous marathon blocks. But I've got to listen to my body and make sure it's working and I'm feeling fresh. So we'll mix that in with some cross training and see how it goes. So I'm being a bit experimental with myself. I think the reality of it is I do react very well off sort of 70 miles a week, but can I prolong my fitness if I do a little bit less? So we'll see.
That's it, isn't it? Like when you've hit those really big mileage, sometimes you've peaked a bit too early.
It's a fun game, isn't it, running? Because every block's a little bit different and you can learn a little bit. And we love myself as well, and as well as our clients and what we can do with ourselves. And of course we have to try new methods and try new things with ourselves first.
Definitely. For me, a couple of things that I need to work on in the next few weeks.
Confidence?
Is confidence and like mindset, getting myself like, although I'm like saying I want to take the pressure off for London in October, I also need to remember that it's still 26.2 miles and not to try and use the wedding as an excuse away from getting out of London. I'm sure there's lots of people that have had big life events and still gone on to do marathons and done really well with it. So I just want to make sure that I am in the right place mentally and physically to put myself in a good position once I line up on that start line. And also I really need to work on my nutrition, because what I have been finding in my last few races is that I can withstand a couple of gels, but then as it gets onto the later stages, it's just the sweetness of it which is like puts me off having when I'm like getting on later into the race. I just find it a bit much, so I need to find some other fuel to start off with gels and something else at the end. So it's something that I need to figure out.
That could be a different gel though.
Yeah, different gel. I don't know. So yeah, it's where I need to experiment in the next few weeks to really find out what is going to be my race day. Because gels are fine for me, like it's not like a stomach issue or anything like that. It's just the taste of it. It puts me off having something, but I know I need it later on. That's when it's really critical later on in the race. Okay, any top tips for training for people that might be training for Amsterdam Marathon?
I don't think my top tip would be specifically for Amsterdam, but it would be for all general marathons. You need to listen to the difference, we said this on the podcast, between being tired and fatigue and fight through the tiredness, essentially. Like, it's marathon training, you've signed up for this, you will be tired, get on with it, basically.
But do listen to your body if it is general.
There is a difference between tiredness and fatigue. Fatigue is where you're going to lead to injury and muscle wear, but a lot of the time you've just got to be honest with yourself and it is just tiredness. And go out, if you've got an 80-minute easy run in your plan, it's an easy run, just start easy. Let your body wake up into it, let your legs wake up into it, you will feel better at the end of it. You never regret a run that you've been out and done. So get on with it. If it's a tempo session, attack the session from the go. Half-assed warm-ups and drills do not result in good sessions, so you need to get ready. And
we've been having that conversation a lot, haven't we, that like you need to prep your body for...
Yeah, and prep your body and mind. If you go into the session like, oh, I'm tired today, or this is no good, you will have a no good session. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
You've got to be ready to go for it.
I think for me, we always say like trust the process, because when you're in the thick of it, I've been having quite a few client conversations in the last couple of days, is that they think that, like as a coach, we see the overview of everything, of all the training, whereas they just kind of sometimes live day to day. And so it's just about trust the process in what you're doing. Like, yeah, okay, you're running 16 miles now, but like, how the hell am I going to run 26 miles in X amount of time? But
because it's not today.
Exactly. So yeah, just trust the process and know that if you're following your plan, that plan has been planned out to make sure you can get there on the day itself. So
yeah. I suppose as well what's important there is, in between what you and I were saying, trust the process, yes, but just by looking at the plan and trusting the process, it isn't going to happen for you. You need to make it happen as well.
Yeah.
And there is literally no substitute for consistency.
No, and that's what's going to get you the results. If you keep showing up week on week, then you're going to get the results that you desire.
And what's also important there with consistency is, consistency doesn't mean 1 week or 2 weeks.
No.
It means 4 weeks, it means 6 weeks, it means 2 months.
Yeah.
That's where the real benefits are.
Trust the process. Enjoy it.
Yeah, and know your why.
Yeah.
And make sure your why is for you, no one else. Okay, it might be a charity reason, this and that, but that's close to you, what you want.
I'm just trying to think back to like some of my first blocks and stuff, and like what I think it's just enjoy it. Don't get too bogged down in the mileage, the data, the numbers. Like, you have to enjoy it. Like, if you enjoy the process, you're going to go into your taper, you're going to go into your race thinking, I've really enjoyed this training block, and then I'm going to go and take everything that I've learned, everything that I've done into that race. Because if you don't enjoy it, then you're just going to go into the race thinking, oh God, I can't wait for this to be done and for this to be over. So enjoy what you're doing. Obviously, you have to mix in stuff you enjoy into your training. You have to do some of the stuff that you don't enjoy doing either to get better and get faster, or get progress, or get the performance. Yeah, I do that.
And also, it's about you. It doesn't matter what Dave, Fred and Francesca are doing. It's about you and what your process is.
I love those 3 names that you've come up with. So yeah, stay in your own lane, because there'll be people on Facebook and Strava that have done way more many miles than you, but don't worry, because their plan is tailored to them, or they might not be following a plan and might just be doing anything they like. So yeah, just stay in your own lane, keep trusting the process, enjoy it, and then you'll be able to rock up to race day knowing that you've done what you need to do to go and get yourself around the distance. Any top tips for race day?
Don't leave anything to chance. Go through everything, know everything. Be a nerd. Watch the course on YouTube, read the maps, understand where everything is, understand what hydration there will be and where it will be, understand what weather it will be, know what kit you're going to wear.
That's it. Like, you've
invested
so much time into your training. Why not invest the time into really understanding race day, what's available to you? Like, we've got some clients that are like, have sorted everything, know everything right at this stage, and then some people on race week be like, oh yeah, I've not looked at the event guide yet, I'm going to sort it out.
I think logistically, know how you're going to travel, know where you're going to stay. Do that early, because that's something you can box off and not worry about. But you've got plenty of time in the taper where you've got ants in your pants, or you need to sit on your hands, and then you can be reading stuff and understanding things and start understanding what you're going to do. And visualization of the race day is like really powerful.
Just a few like really simple things. It's like, don't do anything new on race day. So don't make sure that you've run in your kit before, you know what shoes you're wearing. Don't just like leave it to chance that you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to put brand new socks on and you've not tried them before. So yeah, one of the top things is like, don't try anything new on race day. This is why you've done the training, you've rehearsed it, you know.
Making mistakes in training.
Yeah, you know exactly what works for you. And also as well, just try not to get too caught up in the start of the race. Like, you're going to feel really fresh from your taper, you're going to feel really excited, you're going to have some nervous energy, so you're going to be like, oh, I feel amazing, and go off a bit faster than maybe what you've been training at or what you're used to. Don't get too don't fall into this sense of security, because it will bite you in the backside later on in the race. But yeah, use the crowds, just soak it all up, and just know that at some point it's going to get tough, but you're prepared for that because you've done all the training.
Smile and wave.
To get up to that. So yeah, we could go on forever about top tips for race day. And then last question, what will be your shoe choice for race day? Or options if
yeah.
We're not decided yet.
I think for me, at this moment, it'll probably be a Vaporfly, but I seem to wear through the Vaporflies quite quickly, so that kind of holds me back because it makes me think I want a newer pair for race day. But I'm intrigued by 3 shoes out at the moment. Okay. The Adios 3, the Alphafly 2, and the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. So maybe one of them 3 will get a run in, but I certainly won't try all 3 between now and the marathon.
No, you're not buying 3 new pairs of race shoes between now and October.
No, I said I'm not going to. But
Good. I'm
yeah.
reconfirming.
So I will buy a new pair for race day, whether that's Vaporfly, Adidas, Alphafly, or something I don't know.
Okay. I would normally wear. I wouldn't say normally actually, because
That's a lie. You've never worn the same pair for me.
No, I know, that's a lie. However, I ran the Milton Keynes Marathon and Alphaflies in April, and oh my goodness, they messed my feet up so much.
I'd like to put a little asterisk there that the course is not favourable to any shoes really.
Yeah,
It's
the
chopping and
camber, and yeah, so a combination of the shoes and my feet, and my shoes and the course, sorry, but that has really put me off. So I'm potentially thinking of either going back to the Vaporfly, because I wore the Vaporflies for New York Marathon and I got on fine with them for the marathon. The only thing was the next day my ankles were a little sore, but I think that was just from in the latter stages of the race where you turned quite a lot on all the different avenues.
And also you're choosing a racing shoe which has less support, because your risk versus reward is, I want a fast shoe for race day.
Yeah.
Who cares what happens the next few days?
No,
Which you can kind of get away with on the marathon day. You're going to recover afterwards, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just a little warning. And then before that I wore, what was it, the Adidas Adios, and I've been training in a Adidas Adios 6.
Yeah, but the difference being before was sort of 4 super shoes. So obviously the Adios you've got is not a super shoe, but it does have Light Strike Pro and Light Strike, so new foams, and it's got a different torsion system, so it's kind of an in-between.
Really enjoyed them.
Which makes us think the Adidas Pro 3 could be something for you.
Yeah, but again, I haven't worn those before, so basically we don't know what shoes we're wearing for our marathons yet.
Probably going to get a new shoe for race day, but not sure which one it is yet. Same as me.
We were only talking about money earlier, and like all of these.
I'm just asking where your head's at.
Just wear the Vaporflies that I've got, because.
You better not wear them too much more.
Well, I've got no races to wear them to, so it's fine.
Training sessions as well then.
Well, I haven't. Do you know what? I haven't worn them much recently, because I've got the Adidas. But yeah, we'll see what funds are saying. We'll see how much the wedding costs before. But yeah, who knows at this stage. So there we go. Bit of a roundup, bit of an insight into our marathon training, where we're at. Anything else to add to the video before we sign off, James?
Let us know what shoes you're going to wear. That might sway my decision.
Oh, okay. Turn it into a little poll in the comments. And also just let us know what you'd like us to document on the lead up to the marathon, our training, and also the wedding. Because we're kind of like, I'm toying with how much we share about the wedding planning and the wedding itself, and I don't know if that's really like what people want to see in a running channel, but who knows? I'll leave that up to you. So thank you for watching. Do all the normal stuff, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, head over to
buy some merch,
my New Balance merchandise, head over to the Running Hub community on Instagram, give us a follow, and we'll catch up with you again very soon.